If the band is called Lightning Born and thunder always comes after lightning, does that mean there's going to be a second supergroup called Thunderborn? Welcome to Daily Metal, where every day a different metal album gets dissected for your sadistic listening pleasure. I'm the heavy metal lawyer, Emma, and in this show, I'll talk about why the music in these albums is so good and where they fall in the history of music's most wretched genre. I am doing this live for the first time because I've got a lot to do. I don't have time to edit, and I figured this puts the pressure on. Hope I'm not going to screw this up. Mike Dean from Corrosion of Conformity, Brenna Leith from The Hell No, Doza Hawes from Mega Colossus, and Eric Sugg from Demon Eye teamed up to form Lightning Born and put out their self titled album today, June 21st, in 2019. Lightning Born is everything you want in a stoner metal band. Riffs upon riffs upon riffs, soulful vocals, gut punch heavy breakdowns, bluesy bass noodling, and fiery guitar solos. This is great music to drive to, as well as great music to smoke to. Though, as a lawyer, I would advise you not to do those together and only do the latter if it's legal where you are. If you're not familiar with stoner metal, it is basically the heavier successor of those proto metal psychedelic heavy rock bands like Jimi Hendrix, Blue Cheer, and Deep Purple. I'll probably leave a full history of stoner metal to one of the bands that charted the subgenre. I'm doing a Caius album at the end of the month, so I'll probably cover it in part there. Though it is worth acknowledging here that Mike Dean comes to Lightning Born via Corrosion of Conformity, which was one of the first bands associated with stoner metal. Anywho's I instead want to talk about the fact that Lightning Born is a metal supergroup that is actually really awesome, despite most metal supergroups being god awful, and why Lightning Born pulls it off and other supergroups don't. The short answer is that Lightning Born doesn't have any divas. I'm not saying divas make bad bands. To the contrary, some of the best bands are fronted by people who are total divas. But as a general rule, you can't have more than one diva in a band, and supergroups often break that rule. It's self selecting, of course. Divas think they're Satan's gift to metal, and thus another opportunity for them to put out more art is likely to be seized upon, especially since supergroups are often hyped up, particularly for the star power being brought together. This isn't just any band, it's a band of all stars. But that hype is rarely lived up to by supergroups generally, and especially in metal, where technical chops are often a very personal source of branding and pride. Lightning Born avoids this because the members are all from less well known bands, save bassist Mike Dean. And bassists are usually team players rather than divas. Which isn't to say that any of these other bands, like Mega Colossus, aren't good. I actually like all of them quite a bit, but rather they don't create the sort of overinflated egos or corporate pressures to promote the original band and branding. The closest you get to anything diva ish is the bass flourish that Dean has at the beginning of the album on the first track, Shifting Winds. And that feels more like a pronouncement that the band is influenced by Sleep and The Sword more than Dean saying, "Look at how good of a bassist I am." While Shifting Winds has been the track to garner the most attention from this album, my personal favorite is Power Struggle, that has both the heaviest chorus on the album and Leith going all out in the song's breakdown. While the album is on the longer side, that won't be a problem for stoner metal fans who want a riff to be played enough to get their groove on. And there isn't any track that feels like filler. Lightning Born proves that supergroups can be fun projects for musicians to work with a particular sound or subgenre rather than just washed up Ted Nugent, washed up musicians trying to make a little extra money. So, do you think the problem with supergroups is big egos? Any supergroups besides Lightning Born that you think pull it off? Let me know what you think in the comments. And if you like this video, please subscribe so you can find out what the metal album of the day is, why it is so brutal, and where it fits in the history of the genre.